Hello, my name is Jamie Arnold, and this is my Unit 4 investigation. As a reminder, my site location is at Myrtle Thomas Park, 64.8379 degrees north, 147.71283 degrees west. I did my week's worth of weather observations on January 26th through January 30th, 2015, around 12:30 to 1 p.m. I will be using the National Weather Service (NWS) data station, Fairbanks International Airport. This is my weekly air temperature plot. As you can see, my maximums are still a little off, as the temperature reading was LL.L. If we estimate the temperature readings being about -40, it would look like so, making my minimum and maximum temperatures follow right along the numbers from the NWS Fairbanks data station. On day 1, January 26, 2015, at 12:30, the current temperature is -38.8 degrees Fahrenheit. There is no precipitation and no cloud coverage on this day. The wind speed was on a Beaufort scale of 0, with no noticeable feeling and breath staying still. The maximum temperatures were around -34.7, and the minimum was LL.L, being colder than -40. The NWS temperature at this time read -33 degrees, and the numbers between the NWS maximum and minimum. On day 2, January 27th, 2015, at 12:32, the current temperature was -36.5 degrees Fahrenheit. As well as on Monday, there was no precipitation or cloud coverage on this day. However, it was slightly warmer than the day before. The wind speed was on a Beaufort scale of 0, again with no feeling or the breath staying still. The maximum temperatures were around -32.4, and the minimum again was LL, being colder than -40. At this time, the NWS temperature read -35 degrees, corresponding with the same temperature I had as -36.5 degrees. On day 3, January 28, 2015, at 12:30, the current temperature was -28.3 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, as the days before, there was no precipitation. The cloud coverage, however, was about 1/4 of the sky with thin, flat, cirrus clouds. This day, however, was slightly warmer than the day before. The wind speed on a Beaufort scale was about a 1 and was only noticeable by the direction of your breath. The maximum temperatures were around -27.1, and the minimum again being LL.L, being colder than -40. At this time, the NWS station read -27 degrees, being almost exactly the same as my measurements. On day 4, January 29, 2015, at 12:36, the current temperature is -31 degrees Fahrenheit. There was no precipitation on this day or cloud coverage, being a clear day. The wind speed when on a Beaufort scale was again 0, with no noticeable feeling on skin and breath staying still. The clouds today were gone, and the temperature was going back to being slightly colder again. The maximum temperatures were around -27 degrees Fahrenheit, and the minimum, again, LL.L, being colder than -40. The NWS temperature at this time read -31 degrees, again matching my current measurements. My fifth and final day, January 30th, 2015, at 12:31, the current temperature is -28.8 degrees Fahrenheit. There was serious cloud coverage on this day, covering over half the sky. The wind speed was again on a Beaufort scale of a 1, only noticeable by the direction of your breath. The maximum temperatures were around -26.2, and the minimum was warming at -38.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The NWS temperature at this time read -27 degrees. Throughout this week, we can see a slight warming trend as the clouds moved in and bringing that slightly warmer temperature. This is the weekly pressure plot. As you can see, my numbers here were slightly down from the NWS average, about 5 millibars. On day 1, my readings were 1,014 millibars, and the NWS was 1,025 millibars. On this day, my numbers were about 11 millibars off. On day 2, my reading was 1,015 millibars, increasing only slightly from the day before, while the NWS readings were about 1,024, again only slightly increasing. On day 3, my pressure was 1,019 millibars, while the NWS reading was 1,028, both of which had increased at a 4 millibars. On day 4, my pressure was 1,022, while the NWS reading was 1,034, showing a much larger increasing than my plot. On day 5, the last day, my reading was 1,034 millibars, while the NWS reading was 1,043. Even though my numbers were slightly below, one can see the same pattern and trend throughout the week. The first few days, the pressure was slightly increasing. However, on the last 2 days, they largely increased. Now, we will look at the TV weather maps for this week. As you can see on Monday, January 26th, there is a few high and low pressure systems. Majority of the high pressure systems were in the north and the lower pressure systems in the south. This would correspond with my 1,014 millibars located here at my weather station, with the 1,011 millibars being in the south and up north about 1,030 millibars. On Tuesday, January 27th, the high weather pressure systems are moving into the interior, bringing the cold weather with no clouds or precipitation. The lower pressure systems have now moved into the Aleutian Islands, away from the interior of Alaska. On Wednesday, January 28th, there is only high pressure systems located in the central of Alaska. You can see that the higher pressure systems from the north moving into the central, bringing only a slight amount of cloud coverage. Here you can see the cloud coverage moving in, while the lower pressure systems once again moving away from the central of Alaska. On Thursday, January 29th, the high pressure system has moved into the interior, bringing the clouds from the south with a slightly warmer temperature throughout the week, which has moved from being about negative 38 degrees Fahrenheit on Monday to about negative 31 degrees on Thursday. We can see here that warm front bringing in the temperatures slightly increasing in the central interior. On the final day, January 30th, we can see the clouds moving from the south into the interior, bringing the warmer temperatures of the week, about negative 26 degrees Fahrenheit. We can see that the high pressure system has moved in corresponding with the 1,042 millibars, as reported from the NWS data station. My final slide shows the map in the GOES images on January 26th. On this day, we can see those high pressure systems located up here and the lower pressure systems down here. On this day, we can see that there was barely any kind of clouds and clear skies, with no precipitation or snow, as seen here, being very light. Thank you for watching my Unit 4 investigation.